with the Wonderland. So that's me. Also, raising those hands, do you all need me? Not Q&A yet. Okay. Well, I just have a few suggestions while y'all are in my session. The main thing I teach little kids at church. So I would just please don't make me look out and see y'all picking y'all's nose. And I would appreciate it if y'all didn't eat it. So, that's not I'm so excited to be here for Spring Sprint 2014. What about y'all? Are y'all excited to be here? I love it. Okay. Well, I have to tell y'all, this is seriously crazy for me. It's crazy that I'm sitting here speaking about it all. Because it was just 2 years ago that I attended my very first Spring Sprint here in Fort Worth. I was sitting in those same exact seats that all of y'all were sitting in. And who would have guessed that an unknown certified consultant that took 2 years to recruit one person would be speaking to all of y'all today? I mean, it's just, whew. So I'm so thankful to Spring Sprint. When I was here sitting in those seats, I had no idea what impact that I was going to leave with. I left Spring Sprint that year with a feeling that I served the business I've always dreamed of. I had been part of multiple direct sales companies, and when I say I've been part of multiple direct sales companies, I mean I'm recovering. I was a serial kidnapper. Seriously. So when I came to Spring Sprint, I was like, no, I've been with this company for 2 years. It's about time I finally start taking it seriously. So I'm so glad y'all are all here today, and thank y'all for coming to my session. I hope that y'all all leave inspired and ready to conquer whatever obstacles may lay before you. So you can all have a successful and fulfilling career in Tennessee. I'm here to talk to y'all today about successfully overcoming obstacles. So when they gave me my topic, my first, not my first, but like my third or fourth obstacle when it came to this talk was first, my super server just said that it was supposed to be 15 minutes. And then she texted me and was like, you gotta speak for 45 minutes. And I was like, wait, what? So I was like, oh my gosh. So I got on my computer, got on Google, because Google is my best friend, and decided to find out what exactly is an obstacle. I mean, I know, but what's the definition? Well, Google defines it as a thing that blocks one way or prevents or hinders progress. Really, it's a simple definition when you think about it. But when I read over it in my head, and I just kept thinking about it, I thought to myself, holy crap, my whole life, and every single aspect in it is just, it's full of obstacles. My life is an amusement park full of rides with highs and lows, and sometimes I'm just begging to be let off my ride and let up the gates of my own personal Six Flags Over Texas. So I can go to a nice island retreat where I don't have one thing to worry about. But let's face it, unless I won the lottery that I don't play, or win a Cincy and a signature or two, I'm not going to get to that island. So if your life is anything like my amusement park of obstacles, you'll know we all have roadblocks put into our path that may hinder our outcome. Some of us may have financial burdens. Some of us may have family issues. I got some family issues. And some of us may suffer from physical limitations. But I can tell you that there's not one hurdle that I haven't been able to get across since I started my Cincy business. Looking back at some of the issues that I've had, finding customers, hosts, recruits, booking events, I had no idea at that time what I was going to do about it. But I'm human, just like we all are here, I hope. And I adapted to my situation. And I took it head on. I identified what my problem was, and I got out of my comfort zone. If I had to, so I can figure out why and how I was going to resolve it. And now I'm reaping the benefits of it. I took action, I took control, I conquered. So today we are going to take our own action. We're going to identify what obstacles we need to overcome with our Cincy family business. I want to discuss why we may have these obstacles, find a solution that works, and then we're going to reap the benefits. I mean, that's the best part, is the benefits. So does that sound like a plan to y'all? Yeah. All right. So before I came today, am I talking too loud?
No.
Okay. So before I came today, I was on several Facebook pages or groups on Facebook, and I messaged all my friends with Cincy that I've met over the years, and I pretty much asked them, what is your biggest obstacle? You know what the majority of consultants said? This was the majority of the exact words. And we live in Texas. Competing with other consultants. Or saturation. Y'all know what saturation is? Well, the Direct Sales Association, for a company to be saturated, 10% of the population has to be selling that product. I'm a math nerd. I'm a numbers gal. So I took it to the pen and paper. Did y'all know that there are 26.5 million people in the state of Texas? And we have over 17,000 consultants. Well, for my math, I just rounded to 18,000 because, I mean, we're a growing company. I figure we'll be at 18,000 soon, right? And if I did my math right, we should all have 1,472 customers. I don't know about y'all.
I don't.
But I've been working my business pretty consistently for 2 years, and I don't have that many signed up to receive my newsletter. So I also thought, I was pondering on this because, I mean, just so many people are just like, there's so many consultants. I mean, just not every, I didn't have customers saying that. And so I got to thinking, okay, how many of these consultants are working their business as hard as I am? I mean, really, how many are working as hard as I am? How many of these consultants are just hobby consultants? They keep no stock. They just work for themselves so they can get the 150 PRE every 3 months and keep getting the whatever discount they think I guess their little bit of commission check, you know? How many of these consultants join and fall off within a year because they don't love it as much as I do? I mean, how many of them? And then how many of those consultants are not here today? How many of them did not come to Spring Sprint? How many of them may have come to Spring Sprint but left after they got their product kid? They're not as serious about their business as I am. I mean, I don't think am I wrong? So the truth is that saturation it is just a number, and it creates self-doubt and fear in all of us. Now that we've gone over the whole spill on saturation, we're going to go ahead and use it as an example on how to overcome our obstacles. So if you still believe saturation is a problem, I hope y'all are listening. The first thing when we're faced with any problem or situation in our business, we gotta identify what the problem is. And so in this example, saturation is our problem, right? And when you think it's saturated, you naturally think that you have to compete with other consultants. Well, why is saturation an obstacle? You have to identify why. Well, one, and I know this for a fact because I did this for the first 2 years of my business, it creates self-doubt in all of us, and it creates fear. Your self-confidence is low. You see somebody with a car model driving by. Like the first 2 years in my business, I was seeing our super short really live in the same town, and I'd see her driving by, and I'd be like, well, I just can't sell anybody out here. I mean, I just can't shoot at all of y'all. She's just selling to all of y'all. You know, and that's really that. It was me. When you think about it, saturation really isn't the problem. It's really yourself and how you perceive it. But we're going to stick to saturation. Then you have to create a solution to your problem. One of the things that I thought was helpful. I sat down and I was like, okay, what am I good at? I'm good at, when people tell me no, I'm okay with it. I don't take it personal. I don't cry myself to sleep at night if they say no. I'm not scared to talk to people. When I do this and there's not nobody coming to my booth, I go stand outside my booth where people are coming in, and I go say, hey, come to my Scentsy booth. If it's allowed. Some units don't allow you to do that. Go outside your circle and network and find new people to share Scentsy with. And that's another thing I did. Before I realized there wasn't enough consultants or enough customers to handle all the consultants in our town, I actually went to a couple towns over, and I started networking there, and soon found out that they had bad experiences with consultants in this town. And I know one girl got actually related. She's like, every time I get Scentsy consultant, they do it. And I'm like, well, honey, I ain't going nowhere. Also, another thing I did, and when I finally noticed this is when my business really started booming. Instead of looking at other consultants as competition, embrace them. I mean, we're all a family, right? We gotta network together, or we gotta get along, you know? So the next thing, after we find a solution, we gotta take action. How are we gonna solve this problem? Well, one thing I did, I just kind of sat there and I was like, you know what? When somebody in my town says Scentsy, they're going to automatically see my face. I mean, Annalise Macias is going to come to their mind when they see Scentsy, when they see a Scentsy bar, when they see a car vinyl. It doesn't matter whose name is on there. They're going to see Scentsy Day, or they're going to see the Whipless Wonder Woman. So I also started marketing to different people. My husband is Hispanic, and I don't know any English, but that did not stop me. I actually do what? You don't know English? Say all I do know English. So I started hitting up where my husband used to work. He actually used to take my testers to the cafeteria where he worked for Pilgrim's Pride. And he would take my testers into the cafeteria. I wasn't allowed because I wasn't an employee at that point. And like he started selling them for me. And then eventually my name got known, and they some other companies called me, and they were like, hey, it's Valentine's Day, can you come, bring some catalogs or something for our employees? And we deducted it out of their check. And I was like, I can do better than that. I'll bring the products so they can see it, and then I'll order it. And they have contacted me for every event since then, and I don't know Spanish. I have to have a translator when I go. So, I mean, that's a totally huge market. You can also go to surrounding towns, schools. Another thing I did was I started contacting Chamber of Commerce's all over. I was like, hey, I'm a Scentsy consultant. Do y'all have any events going on? Or do y'all know anybody that needs Scentsy? And I know one, I told them, I've been needing a light bulb for like 3 months, and I can't find one at Lowe's. And I'm like, well, you gotta get one from a Scentsy consultant. So I hooked them up with some light bulbs. Another thing that I started doing, because the first 2 years that I was a consultant, I knew Jamie was a consultant, but I didn't want to hang out with her. I knew of some other consultants in town, and I mean, I was like, oh, I gotta stay away from them. They're gonna take my business, So when I changed that attitude and started engaging with other consultants, I started attending team meetings. Spring Sprint was the first thing I ever came to. I started engaging online through our Facebook groups, through my directors groups. And then when I started doing events, I would actually go if there was another Scentsy consultant or Galata or Grace-Adele, I would go and say, hey, we're family. How are you doing today? And we'd swap business cards. And then I would also do this with other vendors and people that sell competing brands. I totally did it with them too. You know, I mean, we're representing ourselves, but we're also representing the whole company, and we don't want to be that vendor. We just don't want to be that vendor. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then once we do all that, we'll be able to reap the benefits. We'll be able to find new customers, generate new ideas. We'll learn each other's boundaries. And then we'll learn how different consultants with different strengths run their business. And that was amazing to me because I was able to see, like doing events with other people, I see their strengths and kind of where I'm weak. And I'm like, okay, I need to apply, that's working for her. I need to see how I can apply that to my business. And I mean, it really works. I mean, you get together and have a bunch of Scentsy girls, you're going to get some good ideas come out of it. So I mean, really, this really works. I've lived it. And like I said before, the first 2 years of my Scentsy career, I was full of self-doubt. There was just so many consultants. Little did I know, my mom was playing a trick on me, kind of like when I bought my new car. I've never really noticed Honda Pilots on the road before. I really didn't even like them. My dad's a car dealer, and I traded my vehicle in like I changed my underwear basically. So I traded my vehicle all the time. And Honda, I got myself a Honda Pilot, and then before I knew it, oh my gosh, there was Honda Pilots all over the place. They were just coming out of the woodwork. And why was I saying Honda Pilots? Because they're a good car. I mean, they get great gas mileage. It's a good, it's a good brand of car. It's the same with Scentsy. We see consultants everywhere. We notice the car models. We notice the scent circles that are hanging from everybody's rearview mirror because we're in tune. We embrace what Scentsy is, and so we're going to notice it. And I mean, Scentsy is a great company. We do have a lot of consultants because they're freaking awesome, So, my superstar director, Jamie over here, and I, like I said, we live in the same small town. And it was just last year that her and I started getting together, and we started doing events and stuff together. And I don't know about y'all, but it's really nice to do an event with another consultant. I have been doing it wrong all of 2012. I was doing it wrong. It's a lot of hard work to do a Scentsy event. So I encourage y'all to find a buddy and do an event with someone else. And since I've gotten to know Jamie, not only has she become one of my best friends, but I've learned to respect her business. And I don't let her intimidate me anymore that she's a superstar director. That doesn't do anything to me anymore. So this past October, we had those awesome Monster Monday sales. Remember those? They were pretty awesome. And like I did every Monday, I got on Facebook, I got on my email, I started some texting, and I mean, I was just calling people that I hadn't talked to in forever. And I gained a lot of customers from that. But somebody saw my post on Facebook and messaged me and was like, hey, can you order this for me? And I was like, totally, I can totally get that for you. And then I was like, oh, wait, that's Jamie's customer. And Jamie's customer is not going to cheat on Jamie with me. I'm not going to be a Scentsy home wrecker. So I texted Jamie and I was like, Jamie, homegirl wants to order some of those buddies, and here's her order. I'm not taking your customer from you. Jamie was actually kind of stunned. She was like, what are you talking about? She messaged me back. She was like, well, if you're already putting some orders in, I sure don't want my customer to pay $8 for two $5 Scentsy buddies. She was like, add that to your order and split the shipping with all the customers and Angela. And I was like, Well, okay then. So I got the orders in and everything, and she was just awesome about me submitting this one-time order for her customer. She was looking out for me and her, but she was also looking out for her customer so she didn't have to pay that shipping. And there was just no competition between us. It was just respect for each other's business. So, do y'all still think saturation is a problem?
No.
Wait, I didn't hear you.
No.
All right. So I hope y'all feel more confident and are building you're building less self-doubt. I don't even know if that makes sense. But you're more confident in taking on your business and getting your business to the next step. So while we're all in here, I know y'all love to talk, right? I want us all to be able to discuss some issues. I want to cater to y'all. So if y'all have an obstacle or a problem that y'all are going through, I want us to try to work together for a few minutes. We can maybe get a couple in. So if y'all want to raise your hand and ask a question. Okay, this is yes, ma'am.
My obstacle is I looked into doing the events and I was like, oh my gosh, how in the world am I going to spend that much money to set up that display and have all of that product? That's my obstacle. So it's kind of a financial obstacle, but it's also, that's a lot of investment up front.
My thing is set a limit on how much you're going to pay for an event. And if it's more than a couple of days, divide it by those days. Also, and you're saying just basically the upfront cost of paying for the event.
No, stock.
Oh, and stock. Okay, gotcha. One great thing that I started doing is fundraisers. I don't know if you've done any fundraisers or tried to do any fundraisers, but that's been a great way for me to build up my stock. Also, I collect a lot of individual orders. And so I usually, and this is just me, I submit at least one order a week, just about. And if it's, like, say I have $125 worth of orders, I'll go ahead and make it a party with those half-off items and everything, and then I get my commission. So you just have to set aside what you think is okay for you to do in a month and work towards that. When I first started building stock, light bulbs. Gotta keep light bulbs in. People, they're gonna run out of light bulbs. Wax. I would subscribe to the scent alarm of the month. That helps build your inventory. And just little things like that. And it's not a process that happens overnight unless you do want to invest that money. I didn't want to invest that money. I didn't have money to invest that, and I slowly just looked up. I set up a small amount of money each week or month for my commission, and I slowly started building mine up. So does that answer your question? All right. Yes, ma'am.
I just got my first event,
Yes.
and I ordered a lot of stock, and you said you had obstacles there. What do you mean by working with somebody with sensitive? I've never worked with one before.
Okay, you've never done an event before?
Can you restate your questions, please?
Okay, she's saying she's never done an event before, and she's asking me why she needs to do it with another consultant. Because I recommend that. The main thing is it's a lot of work unpacking those warmers. It's a lot of work getting those tables set up, setting that canopy up. I mean, it's hard work getting set up, and since I've started doing it, I'm kind of OCD about how my warmers look and where my bars go, and so I've kind of learned, like, doing an event with somebody else, they may have an idea that you would have never thought of. And then when there's downtime, because not all events are great. I don't want anybody to know that my event was a total flop. I was on Facebook like it was the greatest thing ever. But it's just really, you have somebody when there's downtime to talk to, and you just get those two Cincy brains together, and you're able to communicate and see and ponder ideas on how you both can succeed with Cincy. And so it's just great, and it's great to network and build relationships with other consultants. Go.
You're gonna have to go to the restroom. You're gonna
Yes.
have to go get lunch.
Yes.
I mean, that's the simple part of why to have a partner.
Yes.
Also sharing the load, like you said.
Yes. I mean, and sharing the physical labor. I mean, that's whew. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
What is the proper protocol when you're dealing with someone and everybody went cut up? How do you even that out?
Okay. What? I do it different with different consultants. Like if it's somebody in my downline, and I'm trying to help them build their business, if I have a product and they may not have as much, sometimes I'll just let them replace my product. It's really however you want to do. Like me and Jamie, we both bring products to the table. We know exactly how many bars and what's sent. We know what warmers, and whenever we sell warmer, we're like, okay, Jamie's warmer, and it was sold for $35. And then with the bars, I do math. and we do it evenly, and then we just split the cost of the booth and all that. We just split it down the middle, but it's probably easier if we did exactly like she brought 100 bars, I brought 100 bars, she brought 10 bars, I brought 10 bars. It'd probably be a lot easier to do that, but we just don't. I should math. Yes, ma'am.
Contacts, how do you divide up contacts?
Okay. A lot of times, like if I connect with that person, I get my little forms from the Cincy store. And if I connect with that person and I'm putting their name in there, we will write down, okay, this was Anna's or this was Jamie's. And then people that we didn't, I'm not going to say they didn't have an impression on us, but we just didn't remember. Like they just walked out of the booth and just filled out the forms. They were hoping to get something for free or something. We just divide those in half. And how I do it is if they put an email address, like I'll divide all the ones with an email address and do half. And then the ones that just put like address or phone number, I'll divide those in half. So that way we equally get email addresses and phone numbers. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Red shirt.
Typically, how many warmers would you take to an event?
Oh, it's different for each of them.
It is different for each one. The very first event I did, I had maybe 3 warmers, maybe 50 bars. It was right when washer list came out. I had a new washer list. And honestly, it's not about how much product you have. It's how you represent the product. It's how you, I mean, you can have one warmer at a bar and somebody walk by and say, what is this? I mean, there's always that customer. What is this? There's always that customer. And I mean, you just get your Cincy game face on and you're like, these are wickless candles. And so you have to be invited and bring them into your booth. So if I mean, bigger events, you know, as you slowly gain momentum and are able to build your inventory, I would say don't go into debt building your inventory. Because you'll get done. Like, financial, maybe. 15? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so